Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Math channel. I'm your host, David Tare, and this is my continuing feature on the Math Lovers book. And every Saturday, I feature another biography of a famous mathematician, and I'm up to the 10th out of 80 that I list in my book chronologically. And that one is Brahmagupta, who lived from 598 to 668 AD. And he was a very famous Indian, I guess medieval Indian mathematician. And he did an amazing amount of stuff. I mean, this is during the Middle Ages, the early Middle Ages, anyway. And I think you guys probably know that at least in Europe, the Middle Ages is commonly known as the Dark Ages for a lot of good reasons. It was kind of, around 500 AD was pretty much the downfall of the Roman era, which was pretty much all of Europe at that time. But what a lot of people don't realize is that while Europe was going through the Dark Ages, a lot of the rest of the world was really flourishing in math and science and other areas. And I guess India was just one of those places where it was. And I think a good case in point is this mathematician Brahmagupta, who just did an amazing amount of work in math, I think. And among his accomplishments, he was one of the first people to use the number zero. Zero was never invented in Europe, and I think our Hindu Arabic number system comes from I guess was what was Persia or now the Middle East, and also that was the Arabic part of the world, and also India. They both use zero, and they both use the decimal system. And I guess Brahmagupta was one of the first Indian mathematicians to use zero, and not only zero, but he also used negative numbers. So not only did he have the insight to think of zero as a number, but to reflect the positive real numbers about zero and give us the negative numbers as well, which wouldn't come to Europe for a really long time. I think it was Fibonacci who was the first mathematician who kind of brought zero and negative numbers and the Hindu and Arabic decimal system to Europe in 1200 AD. I'll get to him later, but that was already about 600 years after Brahmagupta. And not only that, but he also came up with general methods for solving systems of linear as well as quadratic equations. And so he was one of the kind of early, I guess, people who used algebra, was involved in algebraic equations. I don't think it was called algebra yet. I'll get to that one later. That was due to Al-Khwarizmi, who will be next on my list. Arabic mathematician who invented algebra. But I guess Brahmagupta was using algebraic equations even before algebra had a name, and he came up with some methods for solving some. Not only that, but he came up with formulas for the sum of the squares or the cubes of the first n positive integers. This was much later generalized by, I think it was a German mathematician named Faulhaber in the 16th century. I'll get to him later too. But Brahmagupta did this much earlier, back in the 7th century. And the last big thing he did was he came up with a formula called Brahmagupta's formula to find the area of what's called a cyclic quadrilateral. And for those of you who don't know, a cyclic quadrilateral is a quadrilateral, i.e., a four-sided polygon that can be, I guess the vertices are all coincide with a circle. So any quadrilateral where the vertices are 4 points on a circle is known as a cyclic quadrilateral. And Brahmagupta came up with a formula for the area of an arbitrary cyclic quadrilateral, I believe, in terms of the length of the sides. So pretty amazing accomplishments for Brahmagupta. Pretty amazing mathematician, I'd say. And that concludes my feature on Brahmagupta and my video for today on my biography of a famous mathematician. And thank you for watching. Long live math, and I'll see you guys next time.